the main topic of today is going to be mastering the customizations and just finding the right balance for your listings. Um, and on the today's agenda, we will cover multiple updates that PriceLabs has recently launched, such as faster pages, the correct steps to set up your properties for a successful journey here with PriceLabs, and a lot more transparency and safer experimentation with your customizations and settings before committing to anything or committing to any changes. All right, so before we hop in, I just wanted to very briefly mention one more time that we do offer live trainings here at PriceLabs. The English 101s are happening every single workday. I'm usually the one that is running them, or at least in the background for the Q&A section. So I do hope to see you all on them. They are an amazing starting point if you are very new to PriceLabs, need assistance with importing your properties and going through the very basic steps with them as well. We do also offer PriceLabs 201, which is a bit more advanced look into what exactly PriceLabs can do for you and how you can best utilize that. That is available only once a week, and luckily it is available later today, so there is still plenty of time for you to sign up with. Once more, I'm going to be running that one as well, so I really hope to see a couple of familiar names there. Additionally, to the regular training that we do offer here, we also have launched a PriceLabs Academy. This, unlike the online webinars that you have to attend live, or you can watch previous recordings on our YouTube channel, you can actually take part from your PriceLabs account. You can go through a couple of situations, scenarios. There's a lot of fun quests and questionnaires that you can fill out. And this is one of the best ways how to fully familiarize yourself with absolutely everything that PriceLabs has to offer, because we do have a lot of bells, a lot of whistles, and it is very hard to put everything through in the 1 hour webinars that we run. And how you can access the PriceLabs Academy is by either going to your initials at the top right corner and clicking on the training section here. It will bring you up to the PriceLabs Academy. Alternatively, you can also access it via the little question bubble and clicking on how to learn how to use PriceLabs here as well. Additionally, very easy and quick way how to get to the chat and email support with our team. And if you have already imported a couple of listings, but your setup is not yet fully there, you will also see the option for the Academy just by hovering over the setup guide steps here. So there's 3 ways how you can get to it. So I hope you all at least take a peek at it. Our team has tried very hard to make it very interesting. All right. So the first thing that I would like to cover is the faster pages. I do hope that we might have a bit more older users that have been with PriceLabs for a little while, and fingers crossed they have noticed that a lot of our pages have actually become a lot faster. Our pricing dashboards are now loading almost instantaneously. Same with the multi-calendars. You can now scroll through your multi-calendar a lot quicker. It is a lot more responsive. If you are managing more than 10 properties, there's shouldn't be any more lag in between any actions that you do. The pricing calendar itself, per listing basis, once more, a lot more responsive. The load times have reduced by a significant amount. And one of my personal favorite tabs, the neighborhood data, that one has just gone in lightning speeds. All the maps have been loading so fast, so quick. So there is now no excuse not to check on it at least once in a while. And do drop it in the chat if you have actually noticed the increased speeds or not. Fingers crossed you have. All right. So, and let's very quickly then continue on because we are on a time crunch regarding some key PriceLabs customizations that we recommend/require all of our users do on their listings. And the first three that always come to mind is setting up the correct base price, the correct minimum price, and the correct minimum stays for your properties. Now, if
Um,
you are, sorry?
Lian, sorry to interrupt, Lian.
Mhm.
Could you go in the presentation mode?
Of course.
Few folks have been asking that in the chat. Thanks.
No worries, no worries. There we go. Yeah, sorry about that. All right, so back to the topic at hand. The three of the more important sections that we suggest you fill out at the very beginning is the base minimum price as well as the minimum stays for your listing. Now, if you are new to short-term rental or if you've previously had static pricing throughout the year, uh, setting up a correct base price might be a little troublesome or a little foreign to you. So with that in mind, our team has come up and improved quite a bit. Our help me choose a base price tool, which you can, let me remove that, locate once you click on review prices for any of your properties and just click on help me choose a base price here. So what this button does, it takes a look at where your listing is located, what are similar listings in your area. By similar listings and in your area, we mean the closest 350 listings that are both close in location wise as well as the bedroom count. And here you can then select which market segment you would like to be in. Are you more on the economy scale segment? Are you more middle of the road? Or is your listing very luxurious, a lot of top-notch amenities? Maybe it's located in a historical center and you are more towards the upscale center. So with this, you can also compare your listing with, as I mentioned before, similar listings in the area. As you can see here, this is a 2-bedroom property, and I can simply compare it apples to apples in this case. And just based on this data, we are able to pull through what is the overall average base price for this type of a listing in this particular location. By scrolling a little bit lower down, you'll actually be able to see a nice breakdown of what would be the pricing expectations, once more, on average throughout the entire year. And you can make adjustments based on what you see on this graph as well. And if you are interested in what exactly are the prices of the listings that we're looking at, you can always simply hover on top of the map and you will see a nice little pop-up with the average price, how many people do they sleep, and a quick access to their Airbnb link. So you're never left second guessing, like, why did PriceLabs recommend me this? Maybe there's a better option somewhere else. Maybe a better listing to compare us to. This way, you can always be sure. You can always double check, and there's no guesswork left for you. Additionally, if your listing has already been syncing with us for a while, maybe you're a PriceLabs client for a while, you've already set up your base price, you're pretty happy with your price. We do offer pricing nudges that our system recommends every 14 to 20 days. With both base price and minimum price adjustments. So once more, we are taking a look at how your property has been performing, how many reservations it has received, what was the average price the reservations were received, and we are making very slight adjustments. Maybe a bit higher, maybe a bit lower, because we're always looking for that Goldilocks zone for you. So as I mentioned before, you receive those nudges both on your base price and the minimum price. This was a very smooth segue into my next topic, which is the minimum price that you don't necessarily have to set up, but we highly recommend that you do, as the minimum price works as a buffer zone of sorts, meaning if you set up a minimum price on PriceLabs, we will not be sending out any price that is below what you are comfortable with, regardless of your customizations, regardless of your settings, regardless what is happening in the market. You have set up your minimum price, and we are respecting your minimum price. General recommendation, set it somewhere 20 to 30% below your base price, because that does leave us with just enough wiggle room to play around with for the off season, and so on. So those were two of the main three settings. The last, but certainly not least, is the minimum stay restrictions. Now, once we have tackled the base price, once we have tackled the minimum price, we need to decide how long do we want our guests to stay, or what is the minimum length that we are comfortable with. And once more, if you're already a veteran in the short-term rental market, you might already have your own idea on what you want to achieve. But if you are very new to it, and you're not really sure what option to take, we do have a very similar tool to help me choose a base price, but specifically for the minimum stay restrictions. And you can locate it under customizations, edit, minimum stay settings, and help me choose minimum stay. So very similar names. And once you do that, all you need to let us know is what type of a rental do you want to be? Do you want to be more in the short-term rental, so 2 to 7 days, or were you more thinking about the mid-term rental, so 8 to 30 days range? And based on that information, we will scan the area of similar length of stay listings, and we will come up with what our system thinks are the most optimal suggestions for you. So let's say we prefer short-term rentals, and we click on go. And based on where my property is located, what is happening in the area, PriceLabs will make suggestions on what minimum stay should be implemented here. Now, the main point here is that these are suggestions. You can take them, you can leave them, you can modify them as much as you would like. Let's say more than happy with my 2 night minimums, but I don't want to have any last minute or far out changes. We can simply omit that, and everything else will be implemented. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody has already heard the term orphan days, but I just wanted to very quickly mention it here because it can sometimes cause confusion, and it is one of the features that we are quite proud of here at PriceLabs when it comes to minimum stays. So what are orphan gaps? Orphan gaps are gaps between two reservations where otherwise a booking could not be possible. Let's say my minimum stay is 3 nights. So I have a 3 night booking, then I have a 2 night gap, and then I have another 3 night booking. Now, based on my minimum stay restrictions, those 2 nights automatically become unbookable. I can't get any revenue for them because they're gonna remain empty. So what orphan gaps do is they automatically update the minimum stay restrictions, so you don't have to go through the calendar and manually manage every single day. And they issue a new restriction. So usually my minimum stay is at 3 nights, but only in situations where there is a gap that otherwise would not be filled. PriceLabs will step in and will update the minimum stay restrictions. So very useful setting, especially if you are a bit more flexible with your minimum stays. Additionally, this is constantly being updated. It's not like we learned this information a year ago, 2 years ago. We are constantly monitoring what is happening in the area, both with the base price as well as the minimum stay restrictions. Hence, we do recommend that you check in with these settings every now and again, let's say maybe once every 2 weeks or so. All right, I think that is pretty much it regarding the base minimum and stays. And I think, yeah, think you can then carry on with the improved customizations.
All right, great. Thanks, Lian. That was amazing, very helpful. Um, Okay, let me bring my screen then. And again, I see some very interesting questions coming already. Please do keep sharing your questions here, and we are more than happy to respond to them. We'll also take some of the questions live at the end, if and when we have the time. For now, let me continue here. Okay. All right. Okay. I hope you can see my screen. I will go in the present mode as suggested. All right. So let's talk about improved customization. So we'll pick up instantly from where Lean just left. Where so you now saw base price, minimum stay, the very basic requirements which help you set up your PriceLabs account that govern our algorithm to take things and personalize them for you. Now, going a step further from there, what happens is I saw a message in the chat as well right now where you've maybe edited the demand sensitivity factor to make it high or low. Cases like these, we've seen that some people maybe make a little too many customizations, and then it's kind of difficult to maybe come back from those, right? Now what we have done here is, now with the new customization view, we'll jump to in the platform as well in a while. Now you can see what's working for you. You can see what might be overcomplicating things for you, and where you can simplify for better results, right? So you can essentially now see, uh, is this setting that you have applied on top of the basic ones, is this really helping? Is this maybe complicating or conflicting with the other settings that you may have? And if you remove this or if you edited this, would it yield in better results, right? So as I said, sometimes too many customizations may do more harm than good. uh, Again, of course, if you know that and if you feel like you want to use them, please feel free. But our recommendation is really see if you need them. Otherwise, PriceLabs algorithm takes care of everything by itself. All the seasons, events, everything is taken care of by the algorithm for you, right? So three things that you will see here is, you will see what's active. So now you have a list of all the customizations that are already active on your pricing, right? So everything that PriceLabs already takes care for you will be shown here. So you, and any fine tuning that you would have done before, right? So now you know what all customizations affect your pricing for every night. Second, now let's take a case where you do want to make some fine tuning, which, as I said, is completely okay as long as you are really sure of it, as long as you really want that to be included, right? So if you're doing that, you can preview the impact. So for example, I think Joanna asked that question. In her case, if if you want to see if having how demand sensitivity high versus low would affect, you can see that in real time before committing to it, right? So before you make changes to your prices, you can really see how that's gonna change your pricing. And at the same time, again, when you need customization, you can adjust. Maybe there's an event that you want to edit for, maybe there's some preference, that personal preference that you may have, you can actually make changes for those reasons, right? And extended to that, now we've made it very simple to experiment, right? As I said, now let's say you want to experiment with demand sensitivity, you want to experiment with rates, date for a certain rates, you want to experiment with having your prices change based on the booking window, right? Based on far in advance someone is making that booking. So there are so many factors like these. If you want to make any of these adjustment, if you want to experiment a little with these adjustments, you can do so. And you can again preview those prices, preview the impact of those changes before committing to them, right? So you avoid these mistakes, you avoid these costly mistakes which eventually hinder all of your pricing, and just see it in a preview, right? So let's quickly jump on to the platform now. We'll come back to the slides in a bit, but let's jump to the platform for a bit. Okay. So this is the pricing calendar, right where Leon left us right now. You can see that here you will see your nightly rates for every night in the future. I'm sure most of you must be familiar with this. Now, when you go to edit customizations, again, a screen which shows you all the customizations. We have redefined this screen to again make it simpler for you to understand. When you click here, you will see at the top is something called currently applied. Okay. Now, as you can see right now, I have 5 customizations, 5 factors that influence my pricing, right? I also use a minimum stay, as Lians just now mentioned how important it is, right? Because you want to make the most from every booking, right? It's not just getting bookings at the best price possible, but you also want to get bookings for the most optimal time possible. So I use minimum stay tool here, which helps me choose this minimum stay for myself, which is very, again, helpful. And then I can see all the 5 customizations that are currently applied on my prices, right? So now these are the factors that influence my pricing at the moment. Okay. So for instance, you can see here, I have this customized last minute prices, and I have changed that to 1,000 INR within 3 days. This is a customization that I did. This is the customization where I didn't let prices do this for me. And I can see that in currently applied list, right? So again, any changes that I want to do, any changes that I have done in the past, any maybe potential mistakes that I have made to my pricing, I can come and see all of these at one go. So this screen is just everything that is influencing your prices right now, all the customizations that you have done on pricing. Now, you see here, we have introduced a preview prices chart. This shows my pricing for the next 6 months, right? I can change it to 1 year, 90 days, 60 days. Let's talk about 6 months. This is where basis current customization, this is how my prices are looking for the next 6 months. So the prices that you see in the calendar behind, all of these rates are clubbed one after the other. And this is how my prices look for the next 6 months. Now, when I do price with default customization, which will again remove the customization, this green toggle that I have done myself, I can see how PriceLabs would have done it, right? So I can see by default what PriceLabs recommends me to do if I remove this customization. So this is what we call as price with default customization. Irrespective of any customizations that I have done in my account, I can see what PriceLabs recommends. And again, as we have been iterating again and again, it's very important that you use as few of these customizations as possible and let PriceLabs take care of it for you. All of these factors, everything which is important in understanding and calculating your prices are done by PriceLabs already, right? So this is where you can change it. Now, let's say I want to experiment, right? So we just spoke about how you can experiment with something. Now, let's say I want to change my far out prices, right? I feel that, so again, you see by default, PriceLabs is taking care of it, right? So currently applied is market driven, which is there's a premium which starts at 60 days out, gradually increase to 19% over next 55 days, and then constant 19%. Now, this is what we think, this is what PriceLabs thinks is good for me, right? This is what, based on my market, based on my property, based on area around my property, this is what PriceLabs recommends and is already influenced. Now, let's say I feel that, okay, maybe, okay, you are doing this, but no, I want to do it myself. I can come and let's say change this customization. So I click on this. Either I can remove it completely. So I don't want any far out prices. It should be just flat prices and it shouldn't change based on how far in advance someone is booking. Or let's say I want to maybe have a gradual after say 60 days, a 30% premium over maybe 30 days. So now this is a customization that I want to have. This is an edit where I feel, hey, if someone is booking 60 days in advance, I want to have a premium. I want to charge them maybe 30%, and then that's how it changes, right? So from starting from 61 day to 90th day, it should go increase to up to 30%. Now, when I do this, now instead of saving these changes, which was the case before, I can actually review these changes and see if it really makes sense. See if I should really have this 30% gradual that I want to have or I feel I want to have, and how do they change my rates, right? So this is how my rates are changing if I choose to have the setting that I just had, right? So here you can see this is where the difference comes in. You can see how on some date it is higher than the previous one. On some days it is lower, some days it's similar. and you can actually see before committing to it, you can actually see how your rates are going to change based on this new customization that you are planning on trying, right? And again, if you want, you can mix it up with your default as well. So now you have three graphs here, which is PriceLabs default. You don't do anything, let PriceLabs do it for you. Again, which is what we recommend. Your current settings, right? Uh, Apart from this far out that I just did, your current setting, which includes last minute in my case, how your prices will change based on that, and the again new customization that you are trying, how your prices are going to change basis that. Right? So here in one screen, you can see all of these factors, and you can see if you really need to take that call, if you really need to make that adjustment, right? And for some of you, as we saw on chat as well, where you may be using some customizations. For some of you, it just there are so many things that you have probably overlapped, right? One on the top of the other, and then just the pricing is really haywire, right? It's a very good way to come see what all is there, see how prices would be if you didn't do anything at all, and then maybe remove some of them. I always say this, the best thing that you can do with customizations is to remove them, is to remove any additional things that you've been doing and just let Price Labs do it for you, right? But again, now in case, because we understand there are instances, we understand there are maybe some local event that you want to do, for maybe you understand your season better than the algorithm. For any of these minute cases, you can always come and do that. Price Labs always gives you the tools to do it. But if you wish, and which we recommend again and again, just let Price Labs do it for you. Okay. So that was on the customizations bit. That's what we have done again on the screen. You can see everything at one place. If you want to experiment with something new, you can do it very safely by previewing prices right from here without saving anything. Throughout the list, if you make any changes, it will be shown here as unsaved, and you can then see if you really want to make that and then save these changes, right? And let me just discard for now. You would also see that we have changed some calendar and colors in general. The side columns are now collapsible and shrinkable. You can just let them go right away, or you can make them. We've also improved the colors here. So if you want, you can also have a high contrast color mode, which again changes the colors in the background, makes them more contrast. If this is what suits your eyes better, if this is where you wish to look, you can just play around with designs a little bit as and when needed, right? So that is about the customization. Now let's spend the next 5 to 7 minutes looking at how you can understand your market better and look at your competitors, right? So let me again present my screen. That's where it comes better. So right now we saw customizations. Lian walked us through how you can set up your account. Even if you're new to PriceLabs, that's how you can do it. Even if you've been using PriceLabs, that's where you can come and recheck your base price, your minimum price time and again. Then we saw that you can, if you feel that your pricing is not working for you, if you feel that there are too many things already, this is where you can come and simplify your pricing. This is where you can come and remove any of the unnecessary customization, at the same time play around with anything new that you wish to. Now let's look at some another part, which is kind of, as I have very nicely written here, bonus. So today we primarily want to talk about customizations and account setup, but I also saw a question in the chat right now where you want to see how your competitors are doing, you want to see how your market is doing. So what you can do here is, in Price Labs, you can also get a lot of insights about your local neighborhood, about your local market, and your competitors. So let's jump into that. So you can see how you are performing against the market, right? So you can see your future prices. You can see how they change with the market. You can see what is your occupancy and the market's occupancy, right? So in some cases, I don't know, it has happened with me where I am sitting with no bookings for the next 15 days. And I wonder, is it my pricing? Is there anything off with my platform? Is there anything wrong with me? Or is it the market? PriceLabs gives you the answer to that question. This is where you can find if it is just you, or is it the entire market that is not doing so great or maybe doing great, right? This is where you go and find answer to that question. So we'll look at that in the product right away. We'll see at future prices and occupancy and how you can compare yours to the market. We will also see how you can get more insights into your competitors, how you can know more about their nightly rates, their cleaning fee, their service fee model, how you can pick some competitors that you want and then just dig deeper into those. Okay, right, let's get into it then. Mm. Again, please keep sharing your questions in the chat. I see some things happening in the chat already, but again, in the Q&A section, please do keep sharing your questions and we are more than happy to take them. Um, So in we just saw calendar, the pricing calendar. Right beside pricing calendar, you will see this another tab called neighborhood data tab. This is where at just same place we give you a lot of insights about your neighborhood, about your listings, local area, and how the market is doing, right? So here, this chart is called future prices chart. This is my prices for the future, right? So the black line that you see here shows all the prices, all the prices for all the future dates for my property, right? Similar to how we saw in customization, you see that the chart was changing. This is similar to that, but it is my future prices for for this listing for the next 6 months or 1 year, whenever I wanted, right? So let's say for the next 6 months, this is how I am doing. And the indicators that you will see, which is the pink, red, grayish colors, this is they indicate different percentile of the market, right? Which means the gray bottom one is maybe the average or below average percentile of the market, economy scale, as you may call it. The red one is the average scale of the market. The pink one is the premium scale of the market, right? So I can see where I lie. Am I in the luxury or the premium segment right now? Am I in the average segment? Am I in the affordable economy segment? And I can see how my rates changes for future, right? Now, we also have something called AI Insights. We have talked about this before, where what AI Insights does is, as you see, in just one click, it turns this chart, which usually is a little difficult to understand for me at least, into very simple sentences. Right? Now, I don't have to keep looking at this chart and make or interpret this and make sense of it. AI Insights does it for me, right? So AI Insights tell me, okay, March, April, in these months, your prices are above the market. Feb, March, your prices are towards the higher end of the market. I think that's good for me. Maybe I don't know. On October 25th, market prices are 5.1% higher comparing surrounding dates, right? Which means on October 25th, maybe there's an event, maybe there's something which increased the market prices by 5.1%. So this is what AI Insights does. This is how, it very easily turns this into a summary. You can share it with your colleagues. If you manage someone else's property, you can share it with the owners, or you can just keep it and consume it for yourself. Similar to future prices, we also have future occupancy, right? Now, future occupancy again tells you how your occupancy compares to the market, right? So this is the market occupancy. So here you can see the market occupancy is 39% for 13th Feb. You can see it's 22%. And of course, as you go in the future, it drops, right? My occupancy is 0 here because it's the demo account right now. Ideally, I would wish for it to be higher than that. But this is where you can see your occupancy compared to the market, right? So if your occupancy is usually below the market, then maybe there's something that you may want to do. Again, given that you do want to increase your occupancy, but this answers the question if it is just you or the market. Right? Again, we have AI insights here as well, which tells you and converts this for in sentences for you. Very quickly, the last one is competitive calendar. What it does is competitor calendar essentially gives you insights into your competitors. It tells you, let's say, this apartment, what is their cleaning fee? What is their say Airbnb service fee model they are in, right? So for some of you who are depending on the geography, uh, you may have the liberty to choose the Airbnb's fee model. So here they tell you which service fee model these competitors are in. Again, for some it's fixed by Airbnb, you can't really change that, but for others you can see that. I can see their nightly rates for every night in the future, right? So I can actually see how they compare with me, right? So this is my property, this is the closest competitors of mine, and I can see their nightly rate, what is their length of stay, and dig deeper into this. You can also even click here and visit their Airbnb listing right away, maybe look at their pictures and listings and all of these things, right? If you feel that there is a competitor that you are aware of, but it's not added here, you can just click on manage competitors and add that right away through their Airbnb link. Or you can just go to the map, find that competitor, add them directly from here also. Right? That's about competitive analysis here, folks. Again, the idea of this is to help you understand uh, how you are doing in the market. If you just want to look at pricing, just to reiterate, PriceLabs takes care of all of it for you. You don't really have to worry about it, or you don't really have to spend any time on it. But in case you are anytime curious to learn more about it, you can always do and visit here. So yeah, that was about it. Leon, I'll hand it over to you to conclude for all of us.
Thank you. Just 1 second. There we go. So I'm basically just gonna go through the conclusion of today's webinar, and I think we can all gather that we have made a lot of quality of life improvements. Hopefully, you'll agree with that statement. The main reasoning behind a lot of these improvements was to give you clarity, just so you know instantly by a quick look at your listing, by a quick look at your customizations, what is applied to it, how does it impact your pricing, how comfortable maybe you are with the pricing, not just on the customizations, also on the help me choose a base price tool, that you can now also see exactly which listings are being used to determine what would be the average market-based suggestion for you. And you can very quickly view all of these properties directly on Airbnb, so you can always feel safe that you're comparing apples to apples and not apples to oranges. Additionally, we wanted to ensure that you have control over your pricing. So even though we always recommend, we always suggest that our team, our amazing data science team, knows what they're doing. They have put a lot of work, and the algorithm knows how to price your listings, and we recommend that you trust the algorithm. Hence, we're always, you can see it on the graph as well, with pricing with just the default suggestions. But if at any point you want to make some changes, you want to add that personal touch, your own personal insight to the customization, to the setting, to any aspect of your listing, you do have that option, and that you can immediately see what it will entail when it comes to the pricing, the minimum stay restrictions, your overall future pricing segment, anything of those lines. You can edit pretty much anything. Any customization can be altered. You have that option. We do suggest the best customizations are no customizations, but at the end of the day, you're the ruler of your listing, and the personalization is why you come to PriceLabs perhaps as well. And yeah, the last one is the flexibility, that you are able to adjust your pricing strategy with confidence and with ease. We're providing a lot more references as to how we're coming up with certain customizations. Where are we getting this data from? You can verify this from your own side as well, and that you can test a lot of things out without actually committing to anything. So the playground has expanded quite a bit, hopefully. And I think those were the major points of today's session. As always, as a member of the product specialist team, we're more than happy to help give you guidance, any assistance. So if at any point after this session or on your PriceLabs journey, you have any questions, any concerns, need assistance with absolutely anything on the platform, because we are constantly developing, we're introducing new things. And if you want to just double check whether or not you understand a specific customization, do feel free to reach out to us either via the email at support@pricelabs.co. We're working 24 hours, 7 days a week, and we're usually able to get back to you within a couple of hours or so. Or we do also offer in product chat, where you can drop some very quick messages, quick questions. That is operating from Monday to Friday. So, yeah, we're always here and we are always more than happy to help.
Yeah, thank you, Liam. That was very helpful. I'm sure we'll see hopefully a lot more questions on chat and in emails now. So I think we all should gear up to get questions over email or chat support. Uh, Thank you again, Liam. That was very helpful. I see we are over time, but Liam, there are maybe one or two questions in the chat. Do you want to pick any one or two questions quickly before we log
Uh,
off? And for the rest of the questions, we'll of course get back to you
uh,
with on email. If you want to stay back for another 2 minutes where we look at questions, please do. If you have to leave, that's totally okay. You will be receiving the recording of this in the next 22 to 40, 24 to 48 hours. And again, thanks again for being us with today. We really hope this was helpful. If you have not attended our basic training, as Leon said, please do attend them. Check out Prices Academy, where we have created courses for you to go over these things at your pace. And yeah, thanks again for being with us today. Leon, we can maybe quickly take any of the last one or two questions if you wish on from
Yeah,
the chat.
of course. I do see one question. Oh, now there's two questions in the Q&A section. Okay. So the first one is there any way to expand and compare with more properties in your area? Because there are other properties far from mine. So as I mentioned at the very beginning, we do have a specific set of competitors that we usually use for your listing. Those are the closest 350 listings in your area. However, if, for example, your properties are located in a bit more rural location and maybe we need to expand the distance for it, you can always reach out to our support team and we will check it out with our data science team and see if we can expand it like that. Or alternatively, since I still have this screen shared here, you can always add a listing manually via the neighborhood data tab, via the compare competitors section. There is actually an option to manually add a listing from the Airbnb. If you click on manage competitors here, you can add a URL link there as well. So if there's a very specific one that you have your eye on and you don't immediately see it in the list or it is quite a ways away, you can also do it like that and add that manually. And another quick question from Ellie. How does the gradual custom far out price work? Because it seems to only have a one line. So how the custom far out price works is that the gradual, I'm assuming, it starts off, let's say you have a 30% gradual premium starting from 60 days until 90 days, reaching max there. So on day 59, there's going to be no percentage adjustment. On day 60, there might be a 1 or 2% increase. On day 62, there's going to be 3 to 4% increase, and so on and so forth until on day 90, it reaches 30% premium. And anything further down the line, let's say day 91, day 92, day 120, will always have that 30% premium. So it always starts with the smallest one and goes up from there. I hope that answers your question.
Great. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. Thank you, Lian, for answering these questions. Very helpful. All right, folks. Again, thank you for being with us today, and thank you for your kind words in the chat as well. We are very happy to always help you achieve and be successful with Price Labs. Thank you again with us today. As I said, if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out at support@pricelabs.co. My colleague has just shared that in the chat as well. And yeah, thank you for being with us today. We'll see you in the next one.
Have a great rest of the day.